So your boy the man NJ to the city here once again for another fantastic video. It's not Fantastic Friday, but just wanted to put the fantastic part in there just to put it in there. Today's actually Wonderful Wednesday, and tomorrow is Terrific Thursday. My days of the week once again, if you have not heard them before, are Marvelous Monday, Fantastic Tuesday, Wonderful Wednesday, Terrific Thursday, Fantastic Friday. I think Spectacular Saturday, and definitely Sunny Sunday. Your boy the man NJ to the city. I do this for a living. I love myself and God is good. And I just look so handsome, don't I? Of course I do. Um, Alleviation of that, I wanted to let everybody know this. When it comes to the future of who I am and where I'm going, let alone when it comes to the even my past of family drama, trauma, issues, and more. Because I've definitely I think went through hell over the last not just year but years, but definitely this past year was probably one of my worst. Let alone it was a lot of people's worst year, and so on. But I've definitely been driven through hell and by God's grace, I'm still on the other side, I would say living in heaven right now. And if not living in heaven, definitely living in, close enough, to it at this point in this moment. All glory be to God for better and for us and all the different ways I can phrase that and so on. But let me tell you this. I don't know if I'll attach this to another fundraiser or not, but if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Hopefully you enjoy it and watch it and listen and learn from it either way that it goes. On a side note, I want to talk about my goatee. I don't know why, but my goatee looks so nice. I trimmed it up last week, and it looks so nice. I swear it looks so nice. I feel like I look like Jalen Hurts a little bit. If you ever looked at Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, Alabama, great. Oklahoma, great. Indy, Jalen Hurts. I feel like I look like I personally feel like I look like Jay Hurts a little bit, honestly, a little bit, if not entirely, a little bit. But yeah. Yeah, I trimmed it up last week, and I've had it at times, and I think I posted some videos where I have no goatee, and it's just my chin, but I think I kind of go back and forth with it over the last few months. I kind of have gone back and forth with it. Sometimes I didn't have it, and I just wanted to let it grow back, and and I really do love this thing, honestly. I might trim it again eventually or shave it all off again. I just don't know when, but we'll see. Hey, King C. Gillette, don't be afraid to sponsor your boy. You know me. And so on. By the way, shout out was my brother Lenny Gillette, a.k.a. Keep It LG, his initials. That's a song that I made on my Younglings Nation SoundCloud a couple months back. If not really August, I think August or September. But shout out was my brother Lenny Gillette, Nice legend, Nice alumni, all glory be to God for better and for us, and so on. Yeah, so on and so on. But yeah, the real reason I'm making this video. Over the last like 3-4 years of my life, I've been faced with the debacle of how to move on with my life, and I just came to this sudden realization about 5 minutes ago that I was faced with the decision pretty much year after year on how to move on, whether to move on the right way according to flesh or the right way according to spirituals. Now that depends on which way you want to categorize that, because if you're a faith-based person, you're probably thinking there is only one right way with spirituality, and moving on with the flesh is the wrong way. But again, depending on who you are and how you want to analyze that, I'm trying to speak to a both a down to earth perspective and a spiritual perspective here. So that's why I'm spitting it the way I'm spitting it. But if I were to move on with the down to earth perspective, God is my judge and witness on whether that would have caused my family so much more harm, damage, humiliation, and dare I even say gory of abomination, and so on, if I had moved on in a fleshly way. And what that means is, if anybody want to know the difference between a fleshly moving on versus a spiritually moving on, fleshly is you might think you know where you're going and what you're doing, and it's going to make you happy for a minute. But, with Christ, it's going to make you happy for everlasting life. I wanted to say an hour just to keep that time slot there, but yeah, that's the biggest difference. Moving on the right way with the flesh will keep you happy very temporarily. Moving on with Christ will keep you eternally happy forever. Let alone you're gonna have your slumps here and there, but you're gonna bounce back bigger, bagger, better, stronger more durable than ever before. Moving on with the flesh, you're gonna go through those slumps, and you're probably, gonna borderline almost never recover. It's gonna take you a lot longer if you ever do bounce back. Because you're not armed with the spiritual discernment that makes you feel alive and whole and free, and it actually gives you the answers as you go, and so on. I don't know how much damage would have been done to my family if I had moved on, directed by flesh. And I'm not even saying that the way I was gonna move on or could have moved on is fleshly based. I'm not even saying that it is. But if I were to put it into that category, only God knows whether or not it would have been as damagingly destructive as it could have been, because God knows how many different ways I could have moved on. Because let me give you, a little hype beast of the story, just to throw that wordplay in there. I graduated Allen East High School, promote that on every account that I have. Allen East High School, class of 2018, came up with the class of 2017, but it took an extra year. Don't regret it. All glory to God. Made a lot of memories, mentored a lot of kids, and it was just awesome, and so on. And guys, I got a lot of good grades at the same time. Where you spent a whole extra year, still got some good grades out of it. And so on. And then the dumb part about it is, how most kids are getting their, permits and driver's licenses at 15, 16, 17 years old. I got mine at 21 years old, if I'm not mistaken, 21 years old. That's when I got mine. And you're probably thinking, huh? Who? What? Yeah. One of the top reasons why is because when I was, I think, 15, 16 years old, if not even 17, I didn't know the importance of driving myself, let alone just driving in general. I didn't realize that importance until later on, a couple years forward. And that's why it took me so long. I didn't realize that importance. Because my mom had brought it up to me, I think when I was like 16 years old or whatever, if not 17, she had brought it up to me, asking me about driving, and I'm like, I think I told her I didn't want to drive, and so on. I did not know the importance of it then, and God is my judge of witness what would have happened if I had picked it up, but I, once again, didn't know the importance of driving at that time. Actually, one of the top reasons why I didn't pick it up was because I was naively thinking it's too easy to lose control of a vehicle. I don't want that responsibility, and so on. I was just so, scared of the steering wheel at that point of like, it's just, again, too easy to lose control of a vehicle, and I just didn't want that stress on me, let alone responsibility on me, and so on. So, I mean, dare I even say, to all kids out there, take that as a learning lesson, either to get your license or to not, let alone, especially by your own parents, making decisions, tutelage, where you get the point, because that's just me telling my story about why I didn't get it until I was 21 years old. And then over those next couple years, I realized how freaking important it was, because I'm 22, heading on 23 now. So, born June 11, 1998. And I realized how important it is now to get or how important it was, 2-3 years after that to get the license, and that's why I ended up getting it when I did. And I always think to myself, at least at times, what would have happened if when I got my license, whether either in 18 or 19, I got it in 19, but if I had gotten it in 18 when I graduated, what would have happened in terms of if I had gotten it and I would have drove off with it? And that means, the NJ to the City brand, which you see right here, what would have happened if I had just, if I had just built stacks and stacks and stacks off of that, when I had first graduated and or even prematurely. But I don't think I even heard of custom ink until, within the last how many years. So, it's all definitely depending on the, the year total, which you're referring to, let alone the, I want to say idea, idea train of which you ride. Yeah, I just throwing out words, hoping that they glue together and make some sense within the dialogue of which I'm trying to speak out to you here. But a big part of what that is, ladies and gentlemen, going forward, is a big part of what that means is, if I had moved on when I first graduated, or moved on and when I first got my license, and just stacked money around my brand back then in 2017, 18, 19, I have no clue where my life would be right now, which I think I already know. I think I would be already on a way to becoming probably one of the most richest young millionaires ever, probably. But I've definitely not only told myself this before, but you can literally do tons of research on this because it's literally open knowledge. It's been open knowledge for the longest time. Just because you got physical material wealth does not buy you, self gratitude. Does not buy you peace. It does not buy you humility. It does not buy you grace. It does not buy you, the material things of this world does not buy you, eternal life satisfaction in God's kingdom, etc. It is your workings, your fruitful workings with the Lord that do that, and so on. The placement of your heart with God's grace and forgiveness that gets you places and it moves you there, and so on. So and I always kept that in mind within like the last 3-4 years of I could have built this empire by now, but I kept that in mind. If I had built it in that way of, I guess you could say, moving on fleshly, or just moving on, moving on in the right way fleshly, if you were to again put it in that category, just where would it have landed me? Because I don't know where it would have landed me. Because I'm definitely going to tell you, like everybody else on this planet for the most part, if I could go back and do so many things different, God knows I would have done at least a couple, if not a lot of things different. Because I've had a lot of blessings, being there for the class of 2021. I've had a lot of blessings, post graduation. I've had a lot of blessings during my time at Nice. I've had a lot of blessings. So I can assure you that I'm blessed no matter which path I would have taken. But obviously, trust me, like again, almost any other human being out there, if I had, if I could do a few things differently, of course, I believe I absolutely would have. For example, God bless my original alma mater, my original middle school alma mater, which is actually, I believe, a K through 12, actually. But my original middle school alma mater, UC University Christian. God bless them, because they were the first middle school that I went to back in 2010, and then I had originally failed. And then I went over to Kernan Middle School, which is right down the road. I had went to that from 2011 to 2013, and then moved out to Nocatee to attend Allen Dini's High School. So the point there is, if I had not failed at UC, I don't know where in God's name I would be right now. But actually, I think I know